Welcome back to the MN Youth OCD podcast, the place where young people learn how to understand their brains, challenge their fears, and build real-life tools for managing OCD. It's Maronier again, and today, on episode 3, we're diving into something almost every teen with OCD deals with: how to handle it at school. Now, this was a big thing for me growing up, and it's definitely a big thing for parents and kids alike, state, nation, and worldwide. Can range from checking lockers over and over again, avoiding people in groups, and, OCD just has a way of sneaking into the classroom. Today, let's just tone it back and talk about ways to control it, and, let's get started. You've written the same sentence 10 times because it didn't just feel right, or maybe you kept rereading the same question over and over again, or maybe you have a certain route you follow at school. Rituals like this makes it so OCD slows everything down. Just know you're not alone, and today we're going to dive deep into how to solve that. And just talk more about it, I guess. That's the whole point of this podcast. Alright, so first, what does it look like at schools? Let me take you guys back to my childhood. There was a lot of trying to be a perfectionist or making sure all the answers looked right. Let's take, for example, math. I would reread the question over and over and over again and say I was able to get past that roadblock in my head. I would get the answer right. Say the answer is 4.3. Don't like the number 4. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go redo that question over and over and over again until it just feels right. Just things like this slows everything down, really gets in the way, and that's why we're talking about it today. Other common examples that a lot of students deal with, so listen up right now if this is the case: seeking reassurance from teachers, contamination concerns, that's baseline OCD, sanitary issues, rituals, so like checking your grade over and over and over again, even after the assignment grade has already came out, just to make sure it's like feeling right is the term we're going to use until I can think of something better. Avoiding presentations, eating places, or even people. A lot of the time you don't want to talk to somebody, say something, start a conversation just because it doesn't feel right, and your thoughts just get in the way of your actions. So that's what it can look like at school. Let's move on to why OCD is so prevalent at school compared to other places. School has a structure, and OCD loves predictable places to latch onto. There's a lot of pressure, social evaluation, and performance anxiety linked with school. So kids, tell your brain, just there's a reason it's happening. Just think about it a little deeper. And this is why this podcast is even a thing. It gives you another perspective to look at. A lot of the time, OCD is prevalent in adolescents and younger ages, and this is when we're in school, peak times of needing reassurance and also learning about your perfectionist mindsets. Keep in mind, OCD does attack what you value. If school matters to you, then OCD sees that as an opportunity. Not saying to not care about school, but just giving you reasoning of why OCD is so prevalent at school. Okay, let's move on to youth perspectives. So, a couple of stories that I got in my DMs of the MNOCD panel. One of them is, his name is, I don't want to say his name, but let's say his first name is Jackson. The story he had is he memorized every single locker spin because he was scared that he would mess it up. And apparently the way he memorized it was he took the sticker and wrote it down 11 times every single night for 11 days. So it's pretty clear to me what that is, and hopefully Jackson got this figured out. And thank you again for sharing this to MNOCD. It's really helpful for me and other students alike. Second, let's move on to Grace. Grace redid her entire essay. Let me read what she said. I redid my entire essay because the paragraphs didn't feel even. Now, short but sweet, Grace, I like it. Yeah, basically, this actually did happen to me once back in English 10. I got a pre-grade back for one of my essays. I got a something, it wasn't great, like a 40 out of 45. And though I could have made small changes and got my score up a little higher, something just didn't click in my head, so I ended up rewriting the entire essay. And is that more so being a perfectionist, or is that more so because OCD was telling me to go with the latter? Finally, Arnav. Okay, so what does Arnav say? He texted me a big paragraph talking about his story. Not going to dive too deep into that today, but thank you, Arnav, for sharing. And okay, so one of the things he said was he avoided raising his hand because he would fear to say something that sounded dangerous. Okay, I got you, Arnav. So basically what he's saying is the same thing. It just didn't feel right. And a lot of people have keywords. One of my friends growing up who I just found out has OCD, he had this thing called motions where his parents would just let him go out in the yard and get all of his thoughts out through physical activity. Now, this may be a little hard. This may be a hard concept to grasp, but basically he would just go out, live with his thoughts, and then he couldn't do whatever he was doing inside the house. And, you know, Arnold, that may be something to look into. And I really hope you get over it. Again, thank you all for giving us these stories and being confident enough to send this in. Thank you, guys. These experiences are common and they are treatable, as we've seen multiple of my friends, me, and just stories around the world. So thank you guys again. Okay, now we're going to take a minute and look at tools to handle OCD at school. So how many tools do I have here? 5 tools. Let's go one by one. The 3-second rule. If you're reading or writing, just give yourself 3 seconds to read it, then move on. This way you understand the task and content at hand, but you don't spend too much time delving into it. Micro exposures. Use messy handwriting. Purposely give one answer you feel unsure about. Tell yourself, I won't fix this, I'll survive. I'm not telling you to get anything wrong on the test, I'm telling you to do something you normally wouldn't. Have the handle of the A a little longer than it usually is, you know. You'll survive. 3, the reassurance reset. This is something that I found when talking to a therapist that I got in contact with, who we will hopefully be having on this show. Guys, I am so close to getting her on, but they do have pretty busy schedules, and hopefully next week. So yeah, instead of asking, is this right, ask yourself, what would I do if OCD wasn't talking? 4, so these are some secret CBT tools that she actually did teach me from Ballard Clinic again. Box breathing, mindful grounding, feet on the floor, chin underneath you. Not my thoughts labeling. So every time something pops up in your head that's not your thought, write that down. And that way you're able to alienate the thoughts and understand what your brain is dealing with. And finally, letting thoughts float past you. It's just a thought, let it go. That may work for some people, but I think the not my thoughts labeling is very good. Whenever you get a thought that you know is OCD or intrusive, write it down and alienate it. Know that it's not you. Finally, communicate with teachers. Just before every class, let them know I have OCD. I never did this, but I know it would be perfect. Say you get into some habit with your homework where you'll have to submit it late, or into some habit where you have to be a perfectionist, you know. It's just good to let these teachers know so they know what they're dealing with. Just wrapping up here now. School doesn't have to be OCD's playground. Small daily tasks and intentional exposures should break these patterns and make you freer and stronger, one class at a time. Again, guys, thank you for listening. I hope you got some things out of it. Again, please, guys, use the not my thoughts labeling. That is such a good idea. I stumbled upon it when talking to the therapist from Ballard Clinic, who we will have on the show, hopefully next week, if she's available. If you think it's thought is not yours and it's OCD, write it down and make sure you know that is not you. Oh yeah, but done with episode 3, guys. Thank you for listening. If this episode helped you, share with a friend or classmate who may be struggling. Keep in mind you're stronger than OCD, and we're here to prove it every episode. See you guys next time.